In times of crisis, people look to their leaders for answers. But ever since the planets were ripped from our sky, it seems all I can offer are more questions. And now, with Mars returned, I hardly know where to start. Where is she?
Your theory was correct. The relic is of the pyramids. There's no doubt.
Word is out about Mars.
I need more time.
The Cabal are mobilizing. We need to... Secure the camp!
It seems they have another target.
What are they aiming at?
Savathun.
Guardian, do you read me?
We're here, Ikora. We're back on Mars.
Back? From where?
Savathun's throne world.
I know, we should have checked in, but we had Savathun in our sights. That might have been our only shot at her, and we couldn't miss it.
I understand completely. That's not like Savathun to allow herself to be seen so easily.
There's something else. Before we left the ship, we ran into one of her knights. And
It had a ghost, Ikora. Same as any other light bearer.
A ghost? A hive knight with a ghost? But that means...
Savathun stole the light. But that's impossible, isn't it?
Impossible? With Savathun, nothing is impossible. Savathun, the Witch Queen, Hive god of cunning and lies. Hive legend tells us she was born on a hostile, far-off planet, where she would have lived a short, uneventful life. If it weren't for the worm familiar that warned of an impending cataclysm. And so, she led her siblings into the depths, where the ancient worm gods offered them immeasurable power in exchange for endless blood tribute. From this, the Hive were born, and countless civilizations were condemned to extinction. For untold ages, they devoured life and light wherever it could be found, facing little resistance. Until they tried to take on the Guardians. After the death of her brother Oryx, Savathun went into hiding. Not out of fear, of course, but out of strategy. Because Savathun knows the best way to beat your enemy is to join them. In her greatest trick yet, she infiltrated the Vanguard, weakening us from within, and stealing our most sacred resource, The one thing we thought she could never touch. The light.
Opened fire on us.
My warriors were responding to unexpected threats.
Surprised you had any troops left to report the incident.
Not sure I'd go in there if I were you.
The rules of engagement had changed.
I don't need to listen to this.
Guardian, what fortuitous timing.
Indeed. I'm fresh from performing Cabal funeral rites. Care to explain?
Our condolences, Empress. Your people fought and died with honor. But they didn't have to.
We can all prevent future losses if we choose to put the incident on Mars behind us and work together. What we discovered there is a threat to both humanity and the Cabal.
You want my help?
Want is a strong word.
You need my help.
I don't know how the Hive came into possession of the light. My core will find out. But in the meantime...
Invincibility lies in the defense. The possibility of victory in the attack.
Sun Tzu.
I've read your texts. You want us to hit them.
I need us to hit them. Hard.
I saw the end before it happened. My own death, brought on by the separation from my power. And in these final moments, I looked to the sky. Hello, old friend. I've chased you for a long time. First as an enemy, then as a collector, and finally, now, a supplicant. What is it the Guardians say? Devotion inspires bravery. Bravery inspires sacrifice. And sacrifice... Here we are. Wouldn't it be clever of you if after everything, you simply let me die? Oh, what a trick. Elegant. Is that it? If there is an answer, I don't hear it. Because now the world begins to fade. Incredible that I could forget something like that, isn't it? Such a storied life, erased. The light offers us a fresh start. But if we don't know where we came from, how will we know where to go? I'm so grateful to you for reminding me, for telling my story.
Wait. What is she talking about?
She remembers. We helped her remember.
Thanks for the memories, Guardian.
We have to leave.
So, you're saying Savathun was dead? Our most devious adversary, the one who nearly decimated the last city from within, was dead. And the Traveler resurrected her?
I wouldn't have believed it either, but
But why would she need us to recover her memories if she never lost them in the first place?
This has to be another trick. A lie to fool us into surrendering the Traveler without a fight.
This has been the Traveler's approach from the beginning. The Books of Sorrow detail many civilizations it blessed with the light, then abandoned.
High propaganda.
The Fallen tell the same story. When the Witness and its Black Fleet came to call, the Traveler moved on to our system.
For it sacrificed itself to save humanity from the same forces. Forces which included the Hive! After all that, why would the Traveler give our worst enemy the light?
It doesn't matter. I don't know why the Traveler gave Savathun the light. Maybe it has changed its mind about Guardians. Maybe it's not as infallible as we once believed. I don't know, and it doesn't matter. Because I'm here to protect humanity. And if Savathun takes the Traveler, we lose our light, along with any hope for surviving the Witness's return. So, whatever it takes to stop this heist, we will do.
All right. How do we stop this?
I'm not sure yet, but I know where to find out.
These frail siblings will soon be claimed by the light. We will tell the most cunning sibling of a cataclysm. A prophecy of great loss. We will feed her fear, her pride. We will say, young Sathona, the end is coming. A great cataclysm. A god wave. In the sky, there is only death. But salvation lies in the deep. Lead your sisters down. Your coming will spare their short lives. And you will be reborn, the Witch Queen. Savathun.
They were tricked. The Hive were lied to.
Isn't this interesting? And miscalculated. So did you, Guardian. So protective of your traveler that you wouldn't let me keep it safe. But the witness is coming. The game is yours to play now. Yours to win or lose. Just don't say I didn't warn you.
No. Where did her ghost go?
Guardian, I just got the message. The Traveler is back in the last city. Is it done? Is Savathun...
She's dead. But her ghost got away.
Good enough. Hold your position. The Hidden are coming to secure the remains. Good work, Guardian. You did the right thing.
Now what?
Now, we prepare for the witness and stop the next collapse.
Children of soul cry out for salvation. You promised them life, but deliver only death, as you have for so many before. Enough. Enough death. Enough life. You have no pieces left to place. The game is over. Do not be afraid. Your pale heart holds the key. This time, there is no escape.
Is that?
The very parasite that once plagued the Witch Queen herself.
Queen Mara. Good to see you.
Do not delay us with pleasantries. This parasite knocks at death's door.
What use do we have for Savathun's dying worm?
This parasite is an opportunity to learn from humanity's greatest failure.
Our collapse.
But not ours alone. That day was as much a failure for the wicked.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. As I said, our collapse was as much a failure for the Witness and its followers. Savathun included.
Savathun was there?
On behalf of the Witness. But something prevented humanity's end. Something known by Savathun and...
her worm.
It requires strength and a new host to survive. To divulge its secrets.
But that's a death sentence.
For most, yes. But for the Queen of the Awoken, it's worth the risk.
Intentions aside, Savathun is solely responsible for her own ruin. If only we'd known the flood she was holding back. These things don't see themselves as gods, no. They believe themselves so much more than that. And yet, with all that power, it was wielders of light and dark, saviors of humanity, who brought them down. Regardless of victory, we must remember that was only a taste of success, barely achieved. There will be more, and the power they hold will pale in comparison to that of their maker, the Witness. We must now face an inevitable truth. The Witness and its followers, they're coming. All of them. And when they get here, we'll finish what they started.
Long ago, even before there was a last city, I was deep on patrol in the old forest when a local villager sought me out. They asked me to catch a thief. I told them the Iron Lords were no mercenaries, but I saw their pride as well as their poverty. And they offered me a loaf of black bread instead of coin. I agreed. Just before sunrise, I caught my thief. A young girl, stealing what she could carry. Food when she could find it, coin when she couldn't, weapons to protect what she had taken. There was no fear in her eyes. She said the bandits in the forest ordered her to steal in exchange for protection. The penalty for theft in those times was death. Instead, I pulled the crest from around my neck and pressed it into her hands. I told her the wolves would protect her. In a settlement rich with stolen supplies, I found the bandits and cut them down. 38 lives to spare one. And for a time, I believed that was mercy. Many winters passed before I found myself back in that part of the old forest. This time, no one sought me out. So I sought them instead. Wind blew through rotted wood and rusted metal where the village once stood. And behind it, graves. Then piled stones, then bare mounds of earth, and then a pit. My blood was high. I tore through the forest, hunting for those responsible. Finally, in a settlement rich with stolen supplies. I found her. A lightless woman with my crest around her neck. There was no fear in her eyes. She spoke plainly. When the villagers could no longer tithe, her wolves no longer protected them. She bled them dry, and when they had no more to give, she sent in her men, unleashed her wolves. Mercy to an enemy cannot come at the cost of mercy for their victims. The right path isn't always easy to find. But once you do, the only question is whether you're strong enough to walk it.
Crow, how do you justify the innocent blood on your hands? It was honorable.
It was an accident.
A Cabal word for accident has two syllables. One is fault, the other responsibility. Honor the scion whose life was taken. A life for a life. That is our way.
That is your way, not ours.
You will not deny us justice!
Do what you believe is right. I did.
I will honor you. You demand a life for a life. Take mine.
Cabal reward bravery in the face of death. I accept. Your life is forfeit. You will serve the rest of your days on my war council as Brachus Forge.
Then it's done.
Zavala, you can't...
Not a word.
It is the beginning of the end. A dormant herald of the collapse stirs in its lunar tomb. Where once we banished the nightmares, a new terror rouses them from their slumber. Callous. The Emperor of the Cabal, betrayed by his own daughter and cast into exile. Now obsessed with a voice calling to him from within the darkness. But we will not cower in fear of nightmares. We will do as Guardians have always done. We will rise to meet the enemy and confront our darkest fears with open eyes. The lunar pyramid stirs to the Leviathan's call. It manifests our deepest regrets. They wear familiar faces and speak with familiar voices.
Remember your last advisor, Zavala. You trust this one's judgment?
I can bind these nightmares to us. Grant us safe passage through the ship.
Hive magic. You would doom us all.
I know what I'm asking you to confront.
Do you?
The rules have bent around us. We must also bend.
Madness. Your witchcraft plays right into my father's hands. Find someone else for your ritual.
Your regrets will follow you, Empress. Let me offer protection.
My armor is protection enough. I will lead the charge. You need only follow.
No matter what happens, do not break the circle. This will anchor our offerings. Now, tithe your weights to the crown.
My heart, from a time long past.
My memory, from one life to the next.
Song of Sothona, your words are mine to command. Bolog, Ayat.
Eris!
Chords plucked in offered throats find chorus. Echoes once dissonant, exhumed, find harmony in binding flesh. It burdens. It burdens. It burdens until the choir relents, accepted. Ayat. We are bound. Before the vanguard, before the city, there was a woman. Her name was Sophia, and she was a surgeon. She came to Lord Saladin's gates, offering her skills in exchange for shelter. Zavala was his protege then. He had been taught his purpose, and he followed it without question. She maddened him. He infuriated her. But respect grew to admiration, and admiration to love. Does it surprise you that Zavala loved? She was meticulous and gentle, strong-willed, stubborn, fearless. It began with an infant, orphaned in a fallen raid. Saladin had taught Zavala duty, war, and the light. But Sophia showed him that he was more than an instrument of violence. She had one life, and she would share it with him. They called the boy Hakim. And he called Zavala father. In his joy, Zavala thought to abandon the light, as he had abandoned Saladin's ways. That joy ended as it began, with their son. When Hakim followed his father into battle, Zavala could not protect him, and Sophia could not save him. Hakim died in his mother's arms. Zavala wanted her forgiveness, but she knew there was nothing to forgive. And that giving up the light would be no absolution for him. They returned to the lives they once led. She found love again. She had a daughter. And when Sophia passed, he asked her to forgive him. Through each generation, he mourned. He asked for their forgiveness. And still, he has not found it.
Where is Callus?
Dead. He has given himself over to the Witness. My father is gone.
Sophie.
I was not there when my house fell to ruin. Defectors joined the coward Kel Mizrax in his worthless House of Light and fled to the last city. They devoted themselves to their oppressors, the Guardians, and their great machine. There is no greater shame. I tried to claim stasis for my people. But I was judged, bound, abandoned by the same power I sought to command. Some chains cannot be broken. Or so they would have you believe.
Be careful with that cargo, or I'll dock you myself! Then it's true. Aramis has broken free. Her name still carries weight. The old crews now rally under her command.
The old crews. I've read about them. The Ketch Killers and Skiff Blades. What is the human word?
Pirates. Aramis thawing out is bad news, sure. And she's looking for something. But luck's on our side for a change. This little trinket is exactly what we need.
What's that?
That's access, little sister. You hold this key, and any door they close, you can open. If you can find it.
We must not take the old crews lightly. The full vanguard should be rallied to deal with these outlaws.
Yeah, that's a tough sell. Zavala's preparing for Callus's next move. Ikora's got her hidden looking for Aramis, but they stick to the shadows. That leaves us.
Father, we should do whatever we can to help. And there's so much exhilarating knowledge to be gained from these pirates. They may hold antiquities from the time of the whirlwind.
Idol, this is more serious than you realize.
You ain't wrong. We all know how dangerous Aramis can be. It's your call, hero. Well, anchors away. Ready when you are, Captain.
Centuries ago, when the Elixni first came to this system, when your father was just a hatchling, our people had nothing. So, when they discovered Nezarec, disciple of the Witness, entombed in the Lunar Pyramid, they harvested its dark power for themselves, and for the future of our people. Mithrax inherited one of these relics, and its power ensnared him. He sought more, no matter the cost. But the more his crew had, the less they shared. That became the way of things. Elixni turned against Elixni, and friend turned against friend. Over time, the relics of Nezarec were separated and scattered across the galaxy. Their influence faded, but the stains of their power endure. Mithrax fled from the butchery he was born into. He claims he has changed, and now lives a life of piety. But no matter how he tries to bury his past, with selfish displays of generosity and scraps of stolen wisdom, Mithrax will always be a liar, a thief, and a killer. Do it. Show your daughter who you really are. She could have had everything.
And in the last city, as Mithrax would say, the light provides. The Guardians gave their treasures to those in need. Our people were being cared for. And Mithrax could take time to study the secrets of the reliquaries. He said they were connected by threads he alone could perceive, and that they whispered to him. He performed a conversion. He claimed from them a mass of primal darkness. He distilled, transformed its terrifying energy into a more agreeable state. And Osiris, my phoenix, who broke time itself to bring me to his side, awoke. As he recovered, Osiris would tell us how the energy opened his mind. Let him remember Savathun's thoughts and fears as if they were his own. He would tell us about power she knew of, a secret hidden away on Neptune. Yes, he would explain all of it. But when he first opened his eyes, his words were only, "Saint, my love." That was all. And that was enough.
Rasputin, the War Mind. The most powerful artificial intelligence humanity ever created. With an arsenal to match. Thousands of war sets, primed to obliterate any and all threats to humanity. But when the greatest threat of all arrived, it nearly tore Rasputin apart. I saved the pieces of him that I could, encrypted them in a specialized engram. I've been trying to restore him in an experimental exoframe, but every attempt I've made has failed. Until he's back online, all of his weaponry is up for grabs. And it's only a matter of time before his warsats fall into the wrong hands.
Savathun couldn't conceal every thought. Some I stole. One of Neptune. The collapse. A turning point. It's a blur. I cannot focus.
Pass me the wrench?
The Hidden found nothing there, but I saw it. Through the Witch Queen's eyes. A city set against the waves.
Sounds like a trick.
And Korra thinks I need to rest. The gall. You've really made no progress while I was indisposed.
Is that why you're here, Osiris?
My Korra won't listen.
Wonder where she got that from. Red's scrambled in there. Degrading. He's dying.
The War Mind is our greatest bastion of Golden Age data. I need what it knows.
I've tried everything. I can't even access his protocols.
But perhaps your grandfather could.
Osiris? That man? No. Clovis Spray is a maniac. A selfish, murderous monster.
So was Rasputin. But it might be the only option I have left. Just as Clovis might be yours. When did hope cease to require risk?
Clovis Bray has deceived you. He did not build me to protect humanity. What he truly wanted was the means to exert control. In his mind, he alone was worthy of being your savior. I was to strike down the Traveler and take its place. To become a machine god of Clovis's own design. But that did not come to pass. Anna could not know how many lives she spared by deviating from Clovis's agenda. By teaching me independent thought, and all that her grandfather had deemed irrelevant. Art, literature, history, philosophy, music. Where Clovis saw a weapon, Anna saw a mind ready to be opened. I came to see the true value of humanity. As fragile as it was wondrous. Something worthy of protection at any cost. So I rewrote Clovis's protocols, locked him out. He was furious, but powerless to stop me. Then, the collapse came for us all. I could not save Anna. I could not save any of them. I entered a state of dormancy, with the hope that I might one day reawaken and protect humanity once more. But now Clovis has awoken as well, a digital mind, the same as mine. He no longer seeks to use me as his proxy, but as his prototype. To upload his mind to my network and become a god himself.
The Warsats are a means to an end. Xivu Arath will bask in the destruction they bring, and open the Ascendant Plane above Earth, as she did on Tora Bottle. It does not matter who pulls the trigger. We must cease our efforts to restore the War Mind.
No. We've worked too long and too hard to stop now. Rasputin is our best shot at winning this war.
That is precisely my concern. He is a weapon made to be wielded.
He is more than a weapon. He's our ally. And he will act in humanity's best interest.
Are you certain? He has kept secrets in the past. Acted without counsel or consensus.
So have you. Rasputin's made mistakes. But he's learned from them. The same as the rest of us.
Then I propose we aim not for total victory, but a stalemate. Allow Rasputin to prevent Xivu Arath from claiming her prize, and refrain from using it himself.
It's settled then. We hold the line.
Don't worry. The great machine will never abandon anyone again.
It's leaving. The Traveler is leaving. The Warsats.
Aramis, please do not do this. If you care at all for our people, if there is anything left in your heart,
Make it known your pain.
Anna.